There's some interesting times here in the United States, and if you think about especially the industry itself. But enough doubting and stuff. Let's celebrate America 250, which should, with a few small parks that have come missing, or mainly this is probably one of the most patriotic chains I could see is the trio of parks owned by Gene Staples, which is formerly known as Indiana Beach Holdings. So, if I reach those browsers over the past month, that got messed up because of the needs video for one of the Alps getting delayed, and then doing the bonus videos. That all that stuff got Lumen Group stuff got pushed back. So I hope they do get out of there. If that is, thank you. If not, don't worry. But regardless, I also have a second channel, Historyleisure.bsky, where you can find cover footage and bonus material. Hey, I'm a writer, and a separate Instagram for that, Lindsay on Story. But also you can find me on Instagram, Threads, Bluesky, Historical Leisure, as well as a Substack, where I have a round table, and there will be a companion article related to the parks for the year. So without further ado, let's get into today's list. Let's start off with the Indiana Beach Trio, especially with Indiana Beach itself. That park is based in the middle of nowhere, halfway between two stops on the Cardinal, and even actually a different stop was probably slightly closer on the original routing of the Cardinal, which there are a few defunct stations because of that in Indiana, and that would be Logansport. At least you do have a train somewhere nearby that exists 3 days a week. Then my home Indiana Beach Park is Clementon Park. Far to walk, but there are buses that do it. A little too far to walk, but there are buses that do exist, but I think they're only like hourly at best. I would count the one bus route and the value of the Lindenwold station, which has both PATCO, which goes into Camden, Philadelphia, New Jersey Transit Atlantic City line, which goes all the way to Atlantic City, and technically goes past Lindenwold to Cherry Hill and over the bridge and paralleling the Trenton line to 30th Street, but PATCO is a lot quicker and more frequent. Now, this park that they own is kind of in flux at the moment. Niagara Amusement Park, which was originally known as Fantasy Island, out near the New York-Ontario border. There is a local express-style service there along the main road, and hoping it at least will keep that operating as a water park. May do football issues like on a few certain days in the heart of summer. But going to New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico, for Cliffs Amusement Park. This tiny park is well known for having the last custom coaster national CCI coaster built, which they're having to put the build to finish, but it is actually pretty decently served with the 140 and the 141. It's near their split point, I believe, but still kind of a ways from the Amtrak. I think you have to transfer to the BRT or something. And it's ranking just the two local buses, and then some credit there for, I guess also you have New Mexico Rail Runner in its case as well. But let's jump to Iowa, where we covered their major park, now owned by Hirsch, and previously to their newest park, to a new park, the newest Lost Island, which originally was just a water park opened in around the Great Recession. Then 2022 they opened the theme park, and last year they got their first brand new thrill coaster, being a Fire Runner. And there is technically a bus that, because of going down that way and looping around that site, because Waterloo is near a college town. Then the other major park in the state of Iowa is Arnold's Park, and unfortunately, just like Indiana Beach, nothing. But hey, at least it's close to I-90. And the main reason I wanted to make this list was the park that's doomed to close. It actually was operated by Six Flags in the early 2000s. Wild Waves in between in the Seattle-Tacoma area. Link Line 1 was recently extended within the past year to Federal Way within a few miles of the park. And Pierce Transit is your connection from Federal Way and the Link Light Rail to park. And also there was a commuter bus from Tacoma, so I think if I ever come up from the north, I might, like pulling from the north or something, I think I might try and do a little Tacoma shuffle. Then we're going to park is kind of a little infamous right now. Not in the best of times. Glenwood Caverns in Colorado. It is accessed by a gondola, so I'm getting a point for that. I'm giving it a point for the California, which actually stops in Glenwood Springs during daylight hours, both ways, which is pretty good and pretty valuable for the region. And there is a decent network there in the region, but it doesn't really serve the park or connect to the train station at all. There is one route serves the park that only Haitian Bogus, and the other one only serves it southbound, if I remember correctly. You get a pretty decent network across that region, and just wish it connected to the Amtrak station. Like, closing off the list is another point and a half thing for Waldemeer since nearby there. Pretty decent park. So they might be getting a decent coaster in the next year or two. And they just got a lot of new water park infrastructure. That sounds pretty good for them. Also on Lake Erie, like Cedar Point, yeah, prehistoric park. And they're not supposed to connect to the Amtrak station for the Lakeshore Limited, so I can't count that, unfortunately. Probably wait a bit longer to reboot Six Flags. Probably wait and see about the fate of Frontier City and Darien Lake. If type being America 250, this summer also marks 10 years since I first went to Europe, so I'm looking at doing EU do. Let's say so until then, comment, subscribe, strike the bell.